Hello, magical people. Welcome to the As Above, So Below show here on the Beyond Mystic YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. My name is Meg Moonbeam, and I'm so happy to be here with the absolutely amazing ASHALA. Hello, ASHALA. How are you?
Hello, Meg. I'm delighted to be with you as well. I'm so glad you're feeling better and
You.
excited to see what comes through today.
Yeah, very special day that we're going to be doing the show. And actually want to say thank you, Ashala, for holding down the fort last week. Was it last week?
That
Time
was
feels
last
so
week.
weird.
No,
Like,
right?
that seems like 2 weeks ago, but that was actually last week when I wasn't feeling well. So, did you have a good show?
It was a lovely show. Everybody was so supportive. Thank you, everyone that came on, and we had a great chat and pulled some cards for all of the the signs, and yeah, it was great.
Awesome. Well, we're back together again on this very special day. We've been doing these shows lately and not trying to, just Tuesdays have lately been very special days. 2 weeks ago, we did, the night of the election. And now on this Tuesday, we have just had the planet Pluto finally fully ingress into Aquarius just a few hours ago. So we're going to talk about that energetic shift. And before we get into the content of today's show, you guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube and Rumble channels. And Ashal and I both offer personal readings over at consultations.beyondmystic.net. So you can go check that out in the link in the description box below. And other housekeeping thing for us to share with you is Janine and I have just put out this tarot and astrology master workshop on the Beyond Mystic Academy. We had a lot of fun doing that and such a crazy spread that Janine did. Ashala, when I asked her, why is it important right now for us to be doing not just tarot, not just astrology, but bringing them together? And Janine did a poll. I forget what kind of layout it was, but she did a poll of like 10 cards. And if I'm remembering correctly, like 9 of them were major arcanas.
Oh my goodness.
It was
Wow.
freaking nuts. So it's a very strong message coming through that these two divination systems that Ashala and I both do as well work very well together, very powerful to use them both. So you can go check out that new workshop on the Beyond Mystic Academy. So Ashala, I feel like we have so much to catch up on right now. We haven't spoken since the election night.
No, right?
So how have you been feeling since then?
Amazing for the most part. I mean, yeah, there's always like so much energy moving through our personal lives and in the collective right now. And yet I really am seeing, that the dawn of the new day. It's sort of like that Ten of Swords card. I'll see if I can find it,
Yeah.
where it's like we're there at the end of an era. Yeah, here it is right here. Oh, I guess I'll hold it up right here. This one, right? We're here at the end of an era, and we're all laying there on the beach, just kind of like, oh. And yet the sun is rising in the horizon in the
Mm.
distance, and it is the beginning of the new. So even as we are witnessing the fall of the old, we're already seeing the beginning of the new. And interesting, I just want to share with you what came in a couple of sessions this week is where people are just kind of like, what's wrong with me? And I don't know why I don't have energy. And I don't know why I can't seem to get a lot done. And then the guides are pointing out, like, folks, it's sort of like that the Star Trek machine. It's like you got put through that, whatever that was called, the transformer or whatever, and you're barely even in your body on the other side, and you're like, what's wrong with me? How come I'm not getting a whole bunch of stuff done? They're like, the guides are like, because you just transformed from the inside out, every cell.
Oh my.
Like, you might want to give it a little bit of time, right? You might want
Yeah.
to be a little gentle with yourself. So, yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
it's so interesting. I'm noticing myself and also clients and people around me, a lot more people feeling lighter within the past 2 weeks.
Mhm.
But of course, there are still many of us processing things, as you said, Ashala, we're being,
Mhm.
uh, you know, transformed from the inside and out. Very, very intense. So, could we start with a card pull for us as a collective? Just like, where are
Definitely.
we at right now? What does the universe want to share with us at the moment? For our highest good.
Mhm. I'm just going to pull 3 cards. Where are we today? Where are we right now? Okay.
Awesome.
Recent, past. Also, we could say that's where we are. Where we're headed, or kind of the direction we're going, and how we're getting there in the potential future. This is liberty. This is liberty. This card is the sovereign, independent, liberation. It's a card, I would relate it kind of to the house of Sagittarius, but also to the element of like earth. So like bringing the practicality into the revolution. So yeah, we are doing amazing. And that lightning effect, right? The Fool is like so buoyant that he can literally just jump off into the unknown, almost like he's flying, basically. And it's because he's let go of fear.
Right.
And then this 8 of Wands is like, the energy is amped up. There's a lot of energy moving through the system, and yet it's super exciting as well.
Well, that's a very good 3-part card pull for us to get right off the bat. Oh my goodness.
I think it is.
Thank you. And I've been feeling the Fool a lot lately, just like in general. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me, ASHALA, because you're more of a tarot expert than me, but wouldn't we associate the Fool with Uranus, the ruling planet?
Yes, definitely. That it is in a way like throwing caution to the wind, getting ready for a big change, but you don't necessarily know how it's going to go, right? Like the planet Uranus is, from what I know, is that there can be that unexpected element to it. But we also want to look at, if the Fool had challenging cards on either side, it would be more like, be careful where you step. Don't be too frivolous. But because it's so well aspected, it is a feeling of lightening and trusting, like that Uranus energy.
That's beautiful. I love that. Hermiller 13 says, starting our new journey. Definitely a new journey we are on. And I wanted to bring that up with you, ASHALA, because I've personally been feeling since the past 2 weeks that we had, the election results, and I was up all night after we did the show. I was up all night with my best friend, and we were watching all the votes come in. And there was that, I don't know, did you stay up for it, ASHALA? Were you keeping up with the results?
Most of it I did, yeah. And I was already, I mean, I have to admit, of course I did cards on it, and I was like, I know what's going to happen. I don't have to stay up any longer. I'm an early to bed gal. I was like, yeah, I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it was a late night. Me with my Scorpio love for drama. I was like, I know what's going to happen, but I have to stay up for this. And as it came to an end, there was like this hour period where the fake news wouldn't admit that Trump won. And there was kind of like this moment of, okay, are they about to fake this somehow? What's going on? Are they just because it was like enough votes that he had won. And then finally they said it. And I felt like in that moment, it was like we won. And I felt like something shifted. And ever since that moment, I've just been feeling like, and I want to ask you with the cards and your intuition, do you feel like we've entered a different timeline? Is there something behind the scenes that has happened more than meets the eye? Like, I just feel this huge shift beyond even the astrological transits, beyond even what we can see with our physical eyes. Does that make sense how I'm saying that? Do you resonate with that at all?
It really does. And what I'm sensing and hearing, and I can pull cards on it as well, is I'm getting that it's one of those moments where it's, I always say it's like the kaleidoscope. You're turning it, nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden everything pops.
Right.
But it was all the things that you did leading up to that. So I feel like we did have this incredible shift, but we were already there. We just got to admit that we were there. We just got to declare it. We got to say, you know, we are here. And I think some people are still hiding a little bit and afraid to even make that declaration to themselves, or, you know, I think they're still a little bit like, are we? Is it okay? Can we say that? We know there's still lots of complex things on the agenda, lots of work to be done. You know, we came here to be part of this time. It wasn't just for a 5-year period of transformation. It's our whole lives are going to be part of a great, as you can, you know, confirm with the astrology. So, but I get that we had already done the lion's share of work before that moment. And it was really just the final, you know, the final curtain call. It was just this like, okay, now we get to like really declare it. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm going to look just quickly at that too.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, interesting. It's almost like another wave of it's like the frontline battle has been won. And now it's sort of like a deeper process that we get invited into. We get to do more, you know, like right away, I feel like Jean-Claude and Janine were talking about like, okay, what does the new look like? What does the rebuild look like? Like we know that the white hats have their own, you know, things are in place and there's stuff happening. We're also going to be involved in the rebuilding. So it's like, as soon as the major battle's over, right away, we turn and go, okay, what are we doing now? And this feels like we're actually going to be doing some inner growth work. This is a much more mature kind of long-term path. But the major hard work of getting to this point, that's done. And now it's almost more like a spiritual process. Do you feel that, Meg? Do you feel like there's more of a spiritual work now?
Yeah, that definitely resonates a lot and makes sense with the astrology too, because especially when we get into beginning of 2025, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it's January 11th or January 12th, the North Node moves into Pisces. So we come out of North Node in Aries into Pisces, which is the sign of spirituality and healing and compassion and forgiveness. With Neptune at the end of Pisces, with Saturn in Pisces. So that really does resonate, that it is going to be a lot more of a spiritual focus. And it's interesting. I just want to bring up this comment here. Wendy says, we have started a new journey, but are there any hairpin turns ahead? And that's a really interesting term you're using, Wendy, hairpin turns ahead. I think one of those maybe challenges or turns, if you will, is that people won't really, from my perspective, understand what the heck is going on unless you surrender to your spiritual side. Because this is a spiritual transformation that we are going through on the planet. It's not just something 3D. It's not just something, you know, scientism, right? It's the age of Aquarius. It's a time of prophecies. It's people waking up. It's very, very inherently spiritual. So I think one of the challenges is people that for a time will still be disconnected from their mind, body, spirit connection, and us kind of having to be way showers for that, even though we've gone through that 5 of Pentacles already of this war for such a long time.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Well, and what I love about this is that we've got all that we need for this spiritual transformation. You know, we're so much, what I keep noticing with my clients is they're so much further along than they think they are. And what they're attributing to their failures or their lack of energy or their, you know, like they're doing something wrong because this and that and the other are happening. And what the guides keep showing is, no, you're actually evolving. It's your, you know, there are ascension symptoms. We know this is true. There is a lot of, as we get, you know, deeper into our spiritual process, it can look a little messy. There's a transition that we go through. I keep being shown almost like the the caterpillar going through the transformation into a butterfly, and in the process it's a little bit of a messy process, but look at the outcome, right?
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So, yeah, very interesting times that we are in. And I'd love to share with you guys our chart for today, this very special day in the Western astrology that myself and astrologers and just even people that aren't astrologers in our like-minded community have been waiting for. So, as of 3:39 p.m. Eastern time today, Pluto has moved 0 degrees into Aquarius full on for the next 20 years. We've already had Pluto do a back and forth twice into Aquarius, back into Capricorn, into Aquarius, back into Capricorn. Now this is full on. We are done with this Pluto and Capricorn. So I want to say congratulations to everyone, because this has not been an easy transit, and particular congratulations to all our Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and risings out there. You guys have not just survived, but you guys have graduated a Plutonian initiation that most signs will not go through in one lifetime, because Pluto takes over 230 years to go through all the signs. So there's only certain signs in our one lifetime span that will go through, Pluto in your sun, moon, or rising sign, which is the biggest transit you can have in astrology, as Pluto is the planet of transformation and death and rebirth and rejuvenation and the secrets coming to the surface. So we've been going through that Pluto and Capricorn. If you've listened to us before, we've talked about that. That's been the death of the matrix, the old structures, systems of government and elites, and they've been exposed, right? And we've seen through the recent election, not to put everything on the election, but of course the US has a huge influence over the whole planet. I mean, in my opinion, that was a too big to rig situation, where it showed how people are really awake, no matter what's thrown at them from the media, from Hollywood. They're on the side of freedom and common sense, right? And now with us entering Pluto in Aquarius, this is the collective. Aquarius is the collective of humanity, the brother sisterhood of humanity being transformed, being up-leveled into the future. So we're not just talking about it. We're not just envisioning it. These things are starting to actually happen, right? And there are some people that I have been seeing, being very critical of Trump and the administration, some of the people in his administration. And I think that it is good for us to be a critical side. I don't think we should just be blindly, following anyone just because. But what I would say is, look at who he's putting in his cabinet. RFK Jr., we've got Tulsi Gabbard, we've got Matt Gaetz. We've got, these are no bullshit, real deal freedom fighters coming forward that they've said on day one, they're doing all these executive orders. So we're going to wait and see, but it's looking like this is actually going to freaking happen. Right, Ashala? And how do you feel about Pluto going into Aquarius? Have you been feeling this? Do you have any personal visions about this as we move forward?
Well, it's interesting because I have my South Node in Aquarius, and what that really means is that I've done I've had past experience doing the group mind, like working together as a community, and what I sense is that what I'm already seeing it. I feel like I'm already seeing it burgeoning in the political narrative. Like, have you noticed there is less polarization?
Yeah.
Even the way the election went and everything. We're still seeing some polarization in the media. We're definitely still seeing that old languaging of hyping everything up and getting, just pushing the panic button day and night, like bludgeoning it to death, right? But in terms of even negotiations between countries and all the very delicate negotiation necessary to continue to evolve through this very interesting node that we're in, I'm seeing almost like overnight more awareness of, you know what, it's not us or them. No one's getting out of this. Like, it's not like, in terms of, nuclear arms and like the political situation internationally and economically. It's not like, well, let's just let those people get on with it and, make a mess of everything. And we'll get on with this over here. It's like, we've got to come together for solutions at this point. And it just seems like everyone's kind of going, wait a minute, like almost like they've got their group vision glasses on or something. And they're like, oh, suddenly I see that we're all pretty closely linked.
Mhm. Right.
And I think that's really beautiful. Like, I feel that.
Yeah. That is super, super cool and definitely resonates with me. And I feel like there's so much to this Pluto and Aquarius transit. It's too much for us to talk about in just today's As Above, So Below show. We'll be talking about it more in upcoming content. But I definitely feel, Aquarius is the sign that rules freedom. Pluto brings power to whatever sign it's in. So we are definitely coming into a lighter frequency, team freedom on the winning side, and no longer the deep state, which is Capricorn in astrology, being in that powerful position. So I found it interesting today. I don't know if you saw as well, ASHALA, that there's a lot of fear mongering around war today. There's a little bit of a war escalation. Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yep. Would you mind doing a poll on this? Because we have been having some comments, some people concerned what's going on with this. Is this going to escalate into World War III? So for those of you who don't know, the US has given Ukraine some weapons that they have used on Russian soil as of, I think, today or yesterday. So really silly thing to be doing right now after Putin said after Trump got elected that he wanted to start peace talks.
Well, I think this is classic deep state doing its, oh, if we're going down, you're going down with us.
Yeah.
And again, let's see what the cards say, but I have a feeling part of why this is happening spiritually is to get us to go, whoa, 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 hold on a minute, right? Like, what I'm hearing is all these different countries in Europe are going, wait a second.
Right.
Right? It's like everybody might have been sitting on the sidelines with the US election, just kind of going, oh, we'll see what happens, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. But at this point, it's almost like the pressure's on for the global citizenship of humanity that's sane to say, stop now. Let's get the power out of these crazy people's hands, right? Like, they're just this. So I think we're seeing it happening. This threat is coming. Let's see what the cards say. Yeah, it's that attempt to keep the polarization going is one thing. Interesting. The Empress in the present and where we're going. Well, let's see what happens with this. Oh my gosh, the world. It's a small, kind of like it's the small world after all. So this is very good news, folks. There could be a lot of really bad cards here. So I'm seeing, the number 3 is there, and we talk about World War III, right? There's been this narrative, World War III is coming, World War III. And it's like, well, why don't we say we're going to give this energy of the renewal, almost like world peace part 3 or something, like world peace 3. Instead of World War III, right? It's like we're just saying, no, we're actually going to defer that energy of that's still trying to pull us down the old Armageddon chute, right? It's like us or them, somebody's got to go, big judgment is coming. Which side are you on? Choose the right side. And then we're literally going from polarity to the energy of the 3, which is more of a synergy energy. And also, I feel like there could be at least one very significant woman who
Hmm.
is going to be part of doing some kind of, I want to say, negotiation on
Mm.
behalf of the United States with regards to this. So isn't that interesting?
Wow.
I wonder if the power might not get wrestled out of the hands of those, deep state puppets at this point because
Right.
of this exact move. Like, I think it justifies them being taken out of their position of power.
Right. Interesting. Any particular woman that you're feeling, Ashala, or is that just a general impression?
Well, I wonder if it isn't Trump's pick to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right?
She's pretty badass.
She is. And like, I feel like there's already, it's almost like I get a feeling that they knew this was coming.
Mm.
And there's already sort of back up work being done.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's another awesome spread. Wow.
Right? You saw me shuffling. I mean, there's some, yeah, like there's
There's a lot of funky cards in the tarot.
there is some scary cards in here, and we're not getting them. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'd love to, Ashala, if you'd like to do some readings for each of the signs for Pluto going into Aquarius, which is a transit that we're going to be having for the next 20 years. So we had Pluto and Capricorn for 16 years. Each of us has Capricorn in a certain area of our chart. Now we're entering Pluto and Aquarius. This is activating a different area for each of the signs chart that we will talk about. So should we start with the fire signs?
Yes, please. Definitely.
Awesome. I'm excited to see what's going to come through. And our fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius.
Fire signs with this amazing turning point. Interesting. Okay, well, this kind of feels to me like it has to do with, when I think of the fire signs, I think of really almost like the warrior energy and the finger on the pulse, the finger on the, like, just sort of really being in touch with the heat and the energy of things. And this, it's almost like it's something related to finances and shifting the global economy. I feel like this, for the fire signs, it's going to be a lot about ensuring that we don't get stuck. It seems like there's going to be a lot of potential for us to continue to get stuck in outmoded paradigms. When we think about energy, and I don't know if this is true in astrology, but it is in the tarot, where the energy that takes the longest to shift is Earth. It's the material realm, it's the practicality, it's the money. They say, if you want to see what's happening, follow the money. I feel like the fire signs are going to be on the money. They're going to be forcing this, that we don't get stuck in another rut with monetary systems, because those feel like they're going to be the last thing to really evolve. And the fire signs are going to be really activated around keeping the frequency of money, like keep moving the energy around economics and money. And that could be in their personal lives and also in how they get involved in changing, being part of the change of the new earth.
That is very, very interesting, Ashala, because if I can bring up my slide here to show all you guys, the fire signs are having Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years, transit through their air elemental houses of relationships, social ability, and information. And, Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius, is an air sign. So they are going to be very acutely attuned with Pluto in the air sign houses to being open to the future and the new ways of doing things, and not some of the other signs may be a little bit more attached to that physical reality that you were talking about. And
Mhm.
it's interesting that you're bringing up money, because Pluto rules many things in life and Western astrology. But one of the things Pluto does rule is the financial markets, big money, investment, more hidden money. Venus, the planet Venus, is the money we make for ourselves through our work and our value. Pluto is investing, the financial markets, big money,
Mhm.
inheritances. So very, very interesting. And the Aries are going to have Pluto in their 11th house. So that is the house of Aquarius. So Aries are very much going to be pioneers and way showers. Aries, sun, moon, and risings for us stepping into this Pluto and Aquarius transit. You guys are going to be inventing new things, be some of the first people really able to grasp some of these ideas that you were kind of speaking to, Ashala, for us to be able to move forward. And then for Leos, Pluto in your 7th house for the next 20 years of committed relationships. So maybe starting to work with marriage or love partners, or really committing to working with others, creating new deep bonds and commitments for yourself, other people in your life, and great transformation is going to occur through other people that you are committed to around you. Leos, many of you guys will get married, will join your resources with another. And
Mhm.
then for Sagittarians, Pluto is in the 3rd house. So they're also going to be very, very inspired to move forward into the future. 3rd house is the Gemini ruled area. So inspiration, courses, learning, local community. So our Saggies out there will very much be feeling guided to create local community, strong tribes, share the information that they're learning about with their friends, with their neighbors, with the people around them. And very good Saggies to be taking courses during this transit to really go deep Pluto into a subject, 3rd house. So,
Mhm. Amazing.
yeah. Awesome. Let's go into our earth signs, which shout out to the earth signs, in particular the Capricorn. You guys just survived Pluto in your sign for 16 years. So, congratulations, you guys. And our earth signs, of course, are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn.
Mhm. Okay, interesting. Another money card.
Mm.
Oh. Mhm. Oh, so in each case so far, the last one, it was like we had that mature um, hermit up at the top here, and willing to like not leave anybody behind, because that's the other thing I feel about the Aquarian energy. It's like nobody, like ultimately, I mean, for the first little while, we kind of have to go out there and sort of stake the new claim and get things happening. But there's a real feeling of caring for everyone, is what I'm getting. And I get that here also. Same thing with the earth signs. It's like for a while, it's sort of like, woohoo, you know, let's share and grow and build and celebrate. 6 of Pentacles is like reciprocity and everything's feeling good. And then it's a bit like, okay, we've had our rahas. We could even look at this in terms of timing, like maybe
Mhm.
6 years of like, let's look after ourselves and really flourish and finally get our sovereign connections with our finances, especially. And then there's going to be a little bit like something's missing. Like
Right.
earth signs are going to be like, I want to get involved with something deep. I want to like heal. I want to be part of like, I want everyone to have this. So the earth signs may go first and experience some of that flourishing, and then they're going to want to like really care for their fellow beings, which is beautiful.
Wow. Well, that totally resonates with their astrology because the earth signs are going to have Pluto and Aquarius for the next 20 years in the earth elemental houses. So, in their respective elemental placements, and the earth, of course, has to do with the pentacles in the tarot. It's our material resources, money, work, income, and responsibility. So, they're going to be grounded throughout this transit. We're all going to be activated to step into the future, but the earth signs are really going to be holding the fort of, we need to have some kind of money going forward.
Mhm.
For me personally, it doesn't resonate when I hear people say, money's totally evil and there should be no kind of money. It's like, no, it's a form of exchange. And maybe the way we have money is going to transform, but there always is going to be something, Pluto, that we exchange with
Mhm.
each other, that we
Mhm.
hold value to, right? So the earth signs are going to be very much holding the fort down on that, so to speak, and working very hard. The earth signs are going to be working hard as we build and pioneer this new world. So very boots on the ground, maybe owning new kinds of businesses, being some of the
Mhm.
signs that
Mhm.
really do that hard kind of pentacle grounded work. The Tauruses are going to have Pluto transit over their 10th house. So Taurus, sun and risings, also the moons, but in particular the sun and risings, are going to be up leveling big time. A lot of you guys stepping into entrepreneurial roles, leadership roles, really going to the next level in your legacy and what you're capable of professionally. And in some ways, you guys might feel tested or challenged by that, but it's good for you to put yourself in uncomfortable positions in the areas that you're passionate about. Virgos are going to have Pluto transit over their house, the sixth house of Virgo. So health is very highlighted for the Virgos. And I can see a lot of Virgos stepping into day-to-day work that has to do with the health field. I mean, they do rule health and astrology, but they're
Mhm.
actually stepping more into that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
interesting because you were getting helping
Mhm.
the people, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So Virgos are very much going to be in their Virgo element, intensely experiencing transformation by being of service to others, great transformation by taking care of their own health. And a lot of Virgos will have healing breakthroughs in their own physical health journey as well. And then Capricorns are going to have transit Pluto in the second house. So everybody likes to hear, when we've got Venus or Jupiter or Pluto in the second house. We do want to be really mindful of our money because we can be obsessed with money or resources. Pluto is the planet of obsession and intensity. So Capricorns, just making sure we're not getting too obsessed with income, with work. You guys are already workaholics, with making money, with having physical things around you. But this is fantastic, Capricorns, for investing. Pluto, the planet of investing in the second house of money
Mhm.
resources. Many Capricorns can make full-time income or significant income from investment markets, from also merging with other people, business where you merge with other people and you're being empowered financially. So interesting for the earth signs. You guys are in your element.
Mhm. Beautiful.
Love it. Cool. And next we have our air signs, our Gemini,
Mhm.
Libras, and Aquarians.
I'm curious, Meg, about the Aquarians because, as you were saying, for the Capricorns, when they went through that, you know, intense Pluto
Yeah.
transit, is that going to have a similar kind of intense effect on the Aquarians?
Yeah, very good question. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it for the Aquarians. Okay, Pluto is the most intense planet in astrology. Okay, so you guys, Aquarian Sun and Risings, are going through the biggest transformation in your life moving forward over the next 20 years. It'll be most intense when Pluto is exactly conjunct whatever placement you have. So you can look that up online. Look up like Pluto and Aquarius degree dates, look up what you have in Aquarius in your chart. But honestly, and I'm not just saying this, Pluto, malefic planet in Capricorn, a malefic sign, is way heavier and more challenging than Pluto in Aquarius. Okay. So, yes, the Aquarians are going to be going through rapid transformation, but it's not going to, the Capricorns just went through hell. Okay. Every Capricorn I talk to, and I've done readings for hundreds of Capricorns, it's the worst of the worst, extremely challenging life experiences, because Capricorn rules hardship and challenge and initiation through hard life lessons. So, yeah, the Aquarians are not going through anywhere near what the Capricorns just went through.
Oh my goodness. Well, look at this, air signs. Woohoo!
Yay.
Spiritual warrior. Activating, I want to say, the truth, the ability to speak the truth, clarity, and visioning, like the wish fulfilled. So this is the truth warrior, spiritual warrior. This is kind of like the truth card, the yes card, the clarity card, and this is the wish fulfilled. So what I read that as is, us air signs are going to be basically tuning in to the energy of spiritual truth, high frequency, the vision of, we're going to be doing a lot of visioning about wishes, the ideals, the dreams, the goals, and then bringing that into like clear communication about that. Mm-hmm.
That's some pretty cool cards right there, air signs, Ace of Swords and Nine of Cups.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. And that makes a lot of sense, Ashala. As usual, the air signs are going to be having Pluto in Aquarius transit through the fire elemental houses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that the Knight of Wands?
Yeah, Knight of Wands is a fire. He's the spiritual warrior, and the wands rule the fire. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the fire houses are creativity, passions, fun, extroversion. So you guys are feeling inspired creatively during this transit. And even if you're not necessarily an artist or creative per se, creative energy, even tantric life force energy, is very important for us to have in our lives to be healthy in our mind, body, and spirit. So for the Geminis, you guys are having Pluto over your 9th house transiting for the next 20 years. Huge transformation through your higher consciousness, through new belief systems being implemented, transformation in your beliefs, maybe perhaps empowering or transformational foreign people or travel to foreign places. Very in alignment for Geminis. Oh, that shows up there.
Yeah, that can also be travel and connection with foreign culture as well. So yeah, interesting.
So cool. And then for Libras, this is really, really cool because they have Aquarius in their 5th house. That is the house of, I call it the fun house. That's you being in the spotlight, having fun, celebration, creativity. 5th house is Leo. So Libras, this is extremely creative for you. Many of you will start to have children or grandchildren if you don't already. Connecting to your inner child and inner creativity is very in alignment during this time. And Aquarians, this is Pluto in your sign in your 1st house for the next 20 years. So you are the stars of the show. You are being initiated into the spotlight to be those amazing weirdos that we are now ready for. Okay. We're now ready for your weirdness that you felt your whole life, that you've probably felt really different your whole lives, like star seeds, people from other planets. We're ready for that now. We're ready for your innovations. We're ready for your inventions. We're ready for your higher consciousness. So Aquarians, it's time, if you're not already, time to get in the spotlight because you guys are going to be initiated into that big time.
Awesome. Yeah.
So awesome. What's your, Ashala, can you remind me your sun, moon, rising? You're a Gemini?
Gemini sun and Aries moon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and a Libra rising.
Ooh, nice. So you're getting, okay, cool.
Fire,
so both
air.
fire and air.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to go to our magical water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We've got my cat Shia here. If you guys see a tail wagging around.
Oh my goodness. What a sweet guy.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Just as I started shuffling the cards on behalf of the water signs, I just felt this huge breath of like fresh air, like a cleansing, a real cleansing energy. another Earth pentacle to start with. Wow.
Oh my God.
And
Yes.
love it, love it, love it. So this is the reward. It's a little bit like the reward for hard work. It is a, it's a pentacle, so it is something tangible, bringing something tangible forward, a gift, a new opportunity. Like sometimes this card shows up when people are going to make a big move, when they're going to buy or sell a house. There's some big purchase, or there's some big tangible gift that they're either receiving or offering. Four of Wands is one of those magical gateways. There's probably about 4 or 5 gateway cards in the tarot. Interestingly, both the Four of Wands and the Three of Wands are 2 of those 5 gateways, and we've got 2 of them right here. So that is like a portal energy. It's like an invitation to upgrade, and this is a beautiful upgrade. What I love about the Four of Wands is it's gentle. It's not like, you got to go through this big portal and go through this huge upgrade. It's just like really like whistling as you go through the gateway kind of thing. It's really fun. And then this is the fun explorer card. This is the try new things. Step out of your comfort zone a little bit, but also it's open to like seeing things from a new angle. You see he's heading out on this journey, looking at the landscape below and getting ready to explore. So very interesting. I'm curious to see how it lines up with the astrology.
You just made my day, Ashala. Me with my Scorpio sun. That's just like, yay. Oh my God. Well, so interesting because the water signs are having Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years transit through water houses. So the earth signs, it's in earth houses, and the water signs, it's in water houses. And the water houses are about our emotions, healing, intuition, and spirituality. So also very much in their element. For the Cancers, Pluto in the 8th house, that is empowerment. Okay. And that is huge transformation because Pluto rules the 8th house of Scorpio. Mm-hmm. So Cancers, the next 20 years for you, there may be some intense times. Okay. There could be major rebirth, death themes. Would be really good for you to do if it resonates, like therapy or even shamanic practices, real deal healing and spiritual practices to process whatever's coming up for you, because you guys are being up leveled big time into, all those water signs are spirituality, and they're the most intuitive signs, right? So that's what that water element is. So it's interesting that in Pluto and Aquarius, we're entering that higher consciousness of Aquarius, the future, and the water sign placements are very much in their element. It feels like to feel empowered themselves in their gifts, but to also help support others into stepping into that as well. Scorpios are having Pluto transit over the 4th house, which it's funny that you said, Ashala, many of you might be moving to a new home or property. For me as a Scorpio, I'm actually going through that right now. And I know many other Scorpios going through that too. So buying new property, moving homes, starting a family, and celebration and victory with that will come with that. And for Pisces, Pluto is transiting over your 12th house, the 12th house of Pisces, for the next 20 years. So similar to the Cancers, very empowering, deeply, deeply spiritual, healing, also creative, huge things being revealed to you about who you are at your soul level, and hidden gifts and talents that you have as well, and major healing breakthroughs.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for, really all the signs, right? Like, there hasn't been anything too terrible.
Right.
And I'm really happy for the water signs that this feels, even though I'm hearing, that Pluto does, bring that to the gravitas of what it rules. And yet this feels, it's almost like again, as you said before, the water signs are used to this. Like that's what they're familiar with.
Right.
So in comparison almost to the type of energy that has gone on while Pluto was in Capricorn, it almost feels like a sunny day for the water signs in a way.
Oh.
There does feel like there's this energy of, and I love that spiritual focus, because these, and the creativity, these are both very spiritual and creative.
So cool. Yeah, definitely. And did we do a pull, ASHALA for all of us as a collective with Pluto and Aquarius?
I think we did.
Did we?
Did at the beginning. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
All right. So yeah, been there, done that. We did that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, this is cool because it is Pluto at the end of the day, which does have, it is the most intense planet, but it is feeling like what we've gotten through the collective reading through each of the elemental groups as well, that it's actually bringing in really a lot of positivity. Those are some of the most positive cards that you were getting.
They really are. There's a gentleness to it. There's a gentleness, and like, even though we saw that Three of Swords, we saw that Five of Pentacles, it was in response to, it was like coming out of this energy of success and kind of getting grounded so that we can go in and do more work. So for each of the signs, it felt like the next, or at least the first wave of this, is going to feel so restorative for all of us. Yeah. And then we can utilize that restoration in various different ways, depending on the transit and how it affects us. But yeah, overall, it does feel like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is amazing. I am so excited. And we want to mention as well, you guys, before we finish up, that I'm going to be hosting a predictions 2025 astrology predictions for each of the 12 signs. This is going to be a 4-day long live workshop where from Thursday, November 28th to Sunday, December 1st, I'm going to go through each of the elemental groups of signs and talk about predictions for 2025, health, finances, work, love, every kind of area of importance. So super excited to be offering that. So if you'd like to sign up, whether you can watch live or the replay, go to the Beyond Mystic Academy, and the link is in the description box below. And we've got a discount code, I think for this week only, predict10, all in one word. It's only $35. So we felt to make it very cost affordable. You're going to get all the 12 signs for 2025. And what are you working on at the moment, ASHALA? You've just put out your dowsing workshop. What have you got coming up down the pipeline?
Yep. So I'm doing a tarot and numerology course with Janine. We got together, talked about it, realized we had so much material between us that we're going to probably do it over 2 or 3 workshops just to spread it out a bit. So the first one, I think, is going to be launched in the next 10 days or something like that. So it's really soon, coming up very soon. And then I'm going to be completing, I'm in the process of finishing producing the dowsing level 2, which is working out on the land, working with dowsing rods, working with our own bodies as dowsing instruments. So that's going to be really exciting and interesting. And that should be launched in early January.
Exciting. I'm very, very excited for that. And thank you guys so much for the positive comments. You guys are the best out there. We love you all so, so much. And you know that you can find ASHALA and I's one-on-one consultations over at consultations.beyondmystic.net. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic Rumble and YouTube channel as well. So thank you all so much for joining us for another As Above, So Below. And we will see you all next Tuesday. We'll see what crazy thing is. There's going to be something else happening every Tuesday lately. We'll see what's going on. So thank you so much, ASHALA, for being your awesome, magical self, and love doing this show with you. And we'll see you guys all next week. Au revoir. Bye.